those organs become overwhelmed, they become burdened, and they don't do the job as effectively and efficiently as they used to be able to.
And then the skin, that pore sucker, that's a secondary elimination route when those other ones go off. When it's congested, the skin will react. So the liver and the skin, they're 100% connected. Your skin will pay for it.
It was because I was hitting my liver so heavy that being the seat of anger was making me irritable, super angry, very emotional, irrational. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm shaking some things up. This is Keep It Clear, real conversations about skin, acne, and women's health without the overwhelm. Because you deserve answers that actually make sense. Today's episode starts now. It is so nice to see blue skies, let me just tell you, instead of looking out at dreary clouds every day.
I'm there. I don't mind walking the dog as much. I still suit up in my winter gear because I'm fragile, but it's just, oh my gosh, just when I see the sun and when I'm out in the sun and it's still nice and bright at 8 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, what a treat.
I know, I get so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many more hours left in my day.
Oh my gosh, I got a full day ahead of me. Us Canadians in our gluey winter, but spring, as we know, is the perfect time to what, Cris?
To obviously detox.
To detox,
right? Because that's what everybody wants to do.
Everybody, acne detox is one of the most popular terms whenever I talk about it. People are like, oh my gosh, tell me everything about an acne detox. And the reason why we wanted to talk about detoxification in the spring, because this is like the natural cycle of our bodies. What's really interesting is, we are part of nature and we really do follow the different seasons. Our bodies really align with the different seasons as we go through them. So that's why spring is a time of renewal. It's a time of refreshing, and it is the perfect time to be supporting your detox pathways.
And just think about this, because when spring comes around and when we spring forward with the clocks, because that's just a great concept. Don't even get me started with that.
That's a whole episode on itself.
But when we spring forward with the clocks, so many clients are like, I cleaned my closet, I washed my car, I cleaned the garage, I have so much energy. And I'm like, what changed? That's the only change, is being in daylight longer.
Isn't it so strange how we just naturally are like spring cleaning? I haven't gotten my car washed since October. Maybe I should do that.
Well, and at the end of the day, always look at the habitat of things that don't know time. Dogs, animals as an example. When we mess with the clocks, nobody understands that we don't eat differently. You know what I mean? Like the animals don't. So since we sprung forward, and it's still, right now it's a little bit cold out there. Like we're getting minuses in the morning still, right? But where's my dog? Outside in the sunshine. Right? So he is naturally getting his summer detox on.
Well, Archie's one of my dogs. He's shedding his coat like crazy. Mm-hmm. I do have a lab, so it was my own fault.
Well, mental note to everybody, do not recommend if you do not like dog hair.
Dog hair. Yeah, no, my rescue, she barely sheds, but our lab, everywhere.
But that's exactly, their body is detoxing that old hair. And we can call it whatever we want, right? We don't think about it, but
shedding,
the body
cleansing.
Yeah, we call it shedding. However, what the body's doing is detoxing certain parts to get ready for new. And that's essentially what body detox is.
And I think detox has become a really trendy term. And I think people need to understand what it really means. Because it's like, oh, I need to do a detox. I need to do a fast. I need to do a juice cleanse. I need to do all of this. Mm-hmm. And we also have to remember that we have detoxification organs in our body. And we just need to be supporting them to allow them to do their job better. Because something that I've often heard over the years is, well, why do I need to detox my organs if, that's what they're meant to do? They should just do that on its own. Well, yeah, they should be doing it on its own.
And you know what you should be doing?
Yeah.
Let me follow you for a day. I'll give you a list.
And the thing is, maybe 200 years ago, the body could probably detoxify fairly okay. Mm-hmm. But since we've gone through this industrial revolution and we're inundated with chemicals in every single aspect of our life, those organs become overwhelmed, they become burdened, and they don't do the job as effectively and efficiently as they used to be able to.
Yeah, we need to really not worry about forcing. Rather, we want to look at supporting the flow of what the body does in a detox state. So here's now we've learned what detox really means, right? Not a quick cleanse. It's supporting, it's not forcing, it's continuing the flow of the body. So let's use our built-in mechanisms to do that. Because when we jump into the organs, and that's what we have to understand, is these organs, at the end of the day, they're meant to detox for us until they can't. And I think that's what you're referencing, right? So if we look at the liver, transforms, packages those little toxins. All right, thank you, liver, right? I mean, I underestimate it. It does have a lot of tasks, but let's just go there.
A lot of tasks.
Kidneys, filters fluids, even cleans blood, right? Colon, see you later, alligator. That's the unicorn, right? That's the elimination. That's the waste. Lymphatics, that's the manual system, right? It's not like the circulatory system that just automatically flows. So we need manual manipulation. We want to move that waste out of the tissues. That's the difference. And then the skin, that poor sucker, that's a secondary elimination route when those other ones go off. So see the pathway?
There's lots of different ways that your body detoxifies. And when those pathways, like Cris said, when they become sluggish, with your skin being your largest detoxification organ, the body's like, hey, I got this backload, and you need external. You need to be helping out in this respect. And that's where we start to see a lot of that skin congestion.
And listen, I'm going to give it to everybody. The liver is when it's congested, the skin will react. So the liver and the skin, they're 100% connected. So, when we say don't detox, don't do this, what we're saying is don't piss off the liver. Your skin will pay for it.
You need to ease into it. That's the thing.
It's like marriage. You don't just meet somebody. This isn't a Britney Spears pop-up wedding, right? So we got to take our time. We got to nurture that relationship. We got to make sure that he's working every day, right? He doesn't have another family. Whatever's happening over there, they're not mine. I just think that would be a really good story, yeah. But no, but that's exactly real life drama in the liver. So it's that perpetual insult, right? Because if the liver's going to process hormones and chemicals and metabolic waste, no wonder if it gets sluggish, the body has to go, what do I do with this? And it says, oh, my pal, the skin. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for that, right? So how do we know if the liver's overloaded? What are some top signs?
Ooh, well, there's a lot of signs, right? Obviously, skin, if we're going to have the breakouts, the dullness, congestion, maybe some people are going to be getting some rashes, but then some people are getting headaches. Maybe we're not breaking fats down. Don't get Cris going on the bile flow connection. Maybe you're going to see some yellowing in the eyes or yellowing of the skin, that jaundice look. Chemical sensitivities is one that we'll often see. So if you're someone who's really sensitive to fragrances, those are some other things that we're going to be seeing.
This is where I see that if people want to say they have hormonal acne, I'll give it to them right in here. And what's the other one I was going to say? Slipped my mind. Obviously, very, very important. Oh, aging. Right? More insult to the liver. The metabolic processes in the body aren't as, tight, right? We're kind of breaking up at that point. So really, again, that gentle daily support over that aggressive detox, because in traditional Chinese medicine, how many times have we said this on the podcast, the seat of anger and rage.
Cris, do I bring up my personal story from last month?
Well, you have to now. You just said it out loud. I can't say no. Everyone's turning up the volume
Katie,
right now.
Yeah, Katie, what did you do? So, I did a gut zoomer test because as Cris and I like to do, we like to do functional tests. And based on the gut zoomer, I was like, hey, these are the supplements I'm going to take. And one of them being ICO Plus. And ICO Plus is something that supports liver and bile flow. And here's me being like, yeah, I'll take the full dose right away, whatever, go on with my day. After 4 days, I completely forgot that I'm taking this new supplement. I am a raging lunatic. I am so unwell that I had to turn my Slack off for 2 days because I didn't want to snap on anybody. Even my husband was like, what is going on with you? You're not getting your period, because obviously he has this tracked, so he knows when to be warned. And I was like, yeah, They just know. He's like, yeah, I don't need to track it. I know. And I remember being like, yeah, like, what is going on? My period's not coming. What is it? What is it? And I was like, oh my God, it is the Ico Plus. And I texted Cris. I'm like, hi, do you think I'm effing crazy for thinking the Ico Plus is making me effing crazy? Because it totally is. And it was because I was hitting my liver so heavy that being the seat of anger was making me irritable, super angry, very emotional, irrational. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm shaking some things up.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, what do we learn about self-protocoling?
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't really thinking. I was so busy. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll just take the full dose of Ico Plus right away, whatever.
Because we don't think a supplement does that. And it could be,
Well, I know it does
that. was
that.
the one change, right?
So, it was the only change. It was my only.
Going through the menstrual cycle. No, it's not that time. It shouldn't be,
Nope.
So, and again, like my 3+1. We do something for 3 days. We monitor by the fourth. By the fourth day, people are cluing in. We're very clueless for about 72 hours, right? Because we're just like, oh, sometimes it's progressional. Sometimes it's just, oh, okay, like I'm super busy and we justify it. So by 72 hours, we are full on something is wrong here.
Yeah, and I was racking my brain. I'm like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then I just completely forgot I was taking Ico Plus.
And then what happened when we reduced the amount?
I was still a little crazy, not gonna lie. Just less crazy. Just
Okay,
less.
but we can't face it on real life.
I know.
No, what I'm saying is, but you know what I mean? And what did I say to you? When you reduce this, still expect your symptoms for probably a period of time because now, remember, all those filtering organs that I just said are involved in this process. They have to go and pick up that residue, right? They have to go and pick up the junk. They have to go and clean things out. The liver has to calm down, which is really about that inflammation, right?
Yeah.
So again, the body, I'm just like, yeah, okay, let's calm this inflammation. And the next time you do it, maybe titrate.
I know. And it's something we teach our clients is to titrate their supplements.
We also tell them not to supplement themselves.
But here we are. I know, that's the thing is even think about the top athletes, the Olympians, the top NHL, NFL players, they all have coaches because they need an unbiased opinion. And so I'm such a big advocate that you can't coach yourself. And I just was like, yeah, I'll coach myself. It's fine. I can tell Cris. And then I was like, oh, by the way.
So I had to tell Cris because something was wrong.
Yeah, something was off.
And we learned that gentle daily support over aggressive detox.
I know. I knew better, but I was whatever.
The intention wasn't there, though. Do you know what I mean? And even though, it has a bit of choline, methionine, I think milk thistle,
ox bile.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy formula. I really love it.
We love it. We love Ico Plus.
I can take it full bore and it not do that.
Well, we know I have deep-seated traumas and issues that live in my liver.
At the same time, I might take a different supplement, even, something to stimulate digestion. And it can do that, right? So everybody's different, and that's the biggest difference, right? So that's why we always like to go into those daily lifestyle habits for that detox support. Again, remember, detox is something your body can do. It's the metabolic processing is really what it is. So what can we do daily to support it? And I mean, I swear, if you've been in our world for at least a year, you should be rolling your eyes at this now, being like, I got it. You should be rhyming it off with us.
I actually had a client come in recently, and I could tell she listened to the podcast. It was all the things she said. I was like, oh my gosh, you are so informed. How did you know all this? She goes, oh my gosh, I listen to the podcast all the time.
Yeah, and then here we are. We're like, did we give enough information? Did we tell? Yeah, so thank you for everybody giving us your feedback because this really supports how you really galvanize through the information, right? So, yeah, so really, I can't address this enough to people that simple habits make the biggest difference. And I'm thinking about just a couple here that we could do, but what if we did a whole podcast on just lifestyle stacks?
I think that's so important because I think the health and wellness world has been like, oh my gosh, we need to take 86 supplements. We need to do this. But simple daily lifestyle habits can be so effective. So let's talk about that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about water right now, first and foremost. I'm not going to let it go.
Okay, you go first while I take my sip of my water.
It triggered. Do you ever notice when you're on a call with somebody and you say the word water, they go for the water? See, everyone, that's the power of my suggestion water.
Yeah.
Somebody picks it up. It's the same thing when we tell ourselves in the mirror, you're ugly or your skin's ugly, right? That's huge power. So that's just something I want to connect there. Here's the thing with water, it's small, consistent sips throughout the day. It's starting your day with water. Oh my gosh, when I start my day with water, I am like, I can walk the dog, I can come back. It buys me a little bit of time. It just gets water. We need cellular hydration to get this movement going, right?
Wait, tell them what cellular hydration is.
It means hydration that gets into the cells versus just drinking water and peeing a lot. That's, I am a big advocate of warm water in the morning to stimulate the digestion. Sometimes we can add some citrus fruits. If we can do citrus, just anything kind of live. Sometimes we can do trace, minerals.
Pinch of sea salt.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like super duper, and just rotate it, right? Like today I have water and I have some trace minerals. Yesterday, just had water, right? So we want to report back. We want to see how we feel. Do I feel different when I'm taking mineral water? Or do I feel better when I put sodium in, like salt in my water? Whatever it is, it's, when I eat, how do I feel after? Like these small things, right? Another one is poop. So bowel regularity, not irregularity. If you are not having a bowel movement every single day, there is a major problem. Do not think that's normal. Even one bowel movement, I'll give it to you. Fine, sorta, but we want technically more. If we're not getting that daily elimination.
Do you not detox?
What's happening? Yeah, you are not running candida protocols to kill the candida.
You're not doing liver detoxes and kidney. Like you're not. You're not. You're probably not even taking alpha lipoic acid if you have blood sugar dysregulation because it's too stimulating at this point, right? What's happening is if we don't get it out, we're going to re-inoculate and recirculate those toxins. And that's what's going to happen. So that's why we need the water to help flush us out. Water also helps stimulate bowels. See how they're all like there? It's one of the simplest things when someone says I'm constipated. I'm like, are you drinking enough water in your day?
Yeah. And do not go and increase fiber without having that water as a pinpoint first. But I think we'll get more into that with the lifestyles, right? Like, because we can dive deep.
Because the thing with the liver is, like we talked about, there's so many different symptoms. Like there can also be like mental health shifts. You can have irritability. You can have issues with cholesterol, fatigue, overwhelming stress,
vitamin
muscle
D,
pain,
low vitamin D.
Yeah. Low vitamin D.
Hello, liver.
What about hormonal imbalances?
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing going on over here in Perryland.
No, nothing going on here. Because so often when people are like, oh, I have hormonal acne, we say, yes, and you have hormonal acne, and you know where your hormonal acne is coming from? Your gut and your liver. Because when your gut isn't functioning well, this is going to be impacting your hormone metabolism. So maybe we're going to be seeing estrogen dominance. Maybe we're going to seeing, different types of imbalances happening just because your liver isn't able to properly filter the hormones.
Exactly. Which comes to another point of movement. So it doesn't have to be these big grand things. Walking, rebound, light sweating, right? Getting yourself into a magnesium Epsom salt bath.
Love an Epsom salt bath.
Right? We want to support this lymphatic flow. So remember what we said, lymphatics is part of the detoxification. So if the lymphatic flow isn't going, you're not touching the liver. You're just not doing it. We're not, jumping in and taking glutathione, and we're not jumping in and taking MSM and these. There's a time and a place potentially if we want to later on. But this is where we have to be very, very careful because walking, especially after meals, it allows the muscles to take up that glucose, that glycogen, right? Instead of the liver doing it. So it's just repositioning the body so it doesn't have to work so hard even, right? We don't have to use, like the liver just needs a break.
He does so many jobs in the body.
Oh, like mine's a she for sure because I don't know about you, but in my house, it's the she's that do the things. The he's are good and does his things, but I just find in my house, the she's just, if they don't do it, if they don't do the brain work.
I am the she in my house.
You are the she. But if
I'm the only one.
If I just find in my house, if I don't do the brain work.
Oh yeah, it's not getting done. It's not getting done. My husband's not doing
right?
it.
It potentially could because I probably have OCD over it, but we're not going to talk about that. So the movement is really good. We got to get that lymphatic flow going, right?
Yeah.
We have to just stimulate, especially you and I. We are chronically on our computers, right? We're
God.
so online all the time.
I actually kind of hate it. I forget.
Well, I am now walking the dog. I don't care if it's blizzarding, if it's snow, if it's raining. 2 weeks ago, it was raining in the morning, snowing in the afternoon, and I'm pretty sure I saw the Wicked Witch of the West go by my window late evening.
Oh, yeah. Let's spring in Canada. Welcome.
Like, I have no idea what was going on, but I was like out there.
Yeah, one day you were wearing a parka, the next day we were wearing shorts.
Yeah. So it's legit. I'm like, I can't not go out. I cannot do that to my body. And that's where I use the cans.
And that's the thing is so many of us are glued to the online virtual space where we're on our computers, we're on our phones, we're on our tablets, we're on like whatever all day. And it's like, no wonder so many of us are struggling when, no, we're all struggling when we're living in this online space and we're just so disconnected from like nature. Like we need to just get outside.
Yep. So now in my calendar, there's 3 times a day that I walk the dog. If not, he hits me, like nicely. He's not being a brute.
Yeah.
And we go. And I've created his time clock now, so I can't even get away with not doing it. But it's so vital. And then when I come back, I'm like, oh, look at me going. I'm so productive.
Maybe I need to start walking the dogs 3 times
So
a day.
productive. It's just like you just cleared that vessel that says, I have to sit in front of my computer. I have to keep working because I have to be better. I have to be smarter. I have to work harder. And don't go away because you're not going to get all your stuff done.
Cris, I wasn't looking for a therapy session today.
No, that's what I do. Do you do that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do that.
I
That's
have
human
a
nature.
sickness. Yeah, I'm like, if I'm not working, I have this thing where it's like, if I don't work 14 hours a day, then I'm not worthy of success.
Yeah, okay.
That's a whole episode.
So we have hydration. We have bowels. We have movement. Can we talk about the nervous system? Because that's a lifestyle.
Okay, the nervous system, like if you just focus on one body part, like one system in your body, please let it be the nervous system. Like it, just let it be the nervous system. Speaking from a professional, because it's the foundation to our health.
Yeah.
Like you can, Cris, how are you going to be able to like repair your gut if your nervous system is on fire?
It's not available because chronic stress slows digestion and detox pathways. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
So whether we're doing breath work, we're grounding, we're, just really, what about slower mornings? Everything's so hustle and bustle.
You want to know what I did today? I was shocked. You're going to be shocked.
Okay.
I sat for 10 whole minutes and drank my matcha in the living room by myself after my kids went to school.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
That's a big deal.
I left my phone in my office because if not, I'd be tempted to answer emails or do things. I left it in my office and I just sat in the sunshine.
Yeah. That's the other thing, nervous regulation. If you want to balance that, how I was talking about like the circadian rhythm and the time clock. You want to get out within, say, the first hour. We're looking for eating because that's what our body does for the metabolic processes. It's kind of like working its way up. You want to eat. You want to get outside. So whether you get outside first, like I get outside first and I make sure I'm outside for 20 minutes. Even if it's a belly clava and you can only see my eyeballs, I don't care.
I can't do it. I hate the cold so much I won't go out in the
Okay,
winter.
listen, you don't have a thyroid issue, so don't complain to me. Get outside.
I stand in a sunny window.
Okay, fine. But I'm just letting you know there's some screening in that window.
I stand on the non-screen side.
No,
but
there's
I do
screening.
open-
Like there's gases and there's
yeah,
actual
yeah.
like pigment different. I'm just saying, even for people in feng
Maybe I'll
shui,
think about
open
it.
your front door. Open your
Yes.
front door for 20 seconds.
Get some fresh
Let
air in
that,
here.
it's just, they call it nervous energy, right? They let the new energy in so the old energy goes out. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be like big whoop-de-doo. Breathwork is free and you can do it absolutely anywhere.
That's the thing about a lot of this nervous system stuff is I think we got into this headspace where if I'm not spending 3 hours on my nervous system routine, then it's not going to work. It's about the simple daily habits you can integrate because you can do your breath work in the car, in the shower, cooking a meal, sitting at I actually have been doing it like as soon as when you're like still half awake and you're like just waking up. That's when I do my breath work. when I'm still laying in bed.
So, you know, when you're coming out of your little slumber there and you feel the elevator hit the first floor and you're like, it's 2:30. This is not happening. I'll sit there and I'll do breath work and I'll be like, what do I expect from myself at 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
And I just kind of, and I regulate it and I kind of scan to what's going on. And then I'll be like, oh, and I'm pretty quick now, but I've been channeling this for a little bit. I'm pretty quick to go, oh, this is everything that's bugging me. Right. And then I'm like, okay, well, I really can't do. Thanks for letting me know. I'll park it in the morning. And I'm going to yell at everybody for everything for keeping me up because it's all them.
Yeah, I think that's why breath work's so great, right? It's like you can do box breathing where it's you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And it's what the Navy SEALs are trained to do. So I'm like, if it's good enough for the Navy SEALs, man, it's good enough for me. So I'll do that one, or I'll do it where I'll breathe in for 4 and then out for 8. I'll double my exhale.
You could do 4, 7, 8. You could do a long exhale. You could do box breathing. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't count. I don't do anything. I just get that breath in. I scan my body and I'm like, where do you need me to help you? I just talk to myself like that. And I'm like, okay, nothing's coming up. I'll check back in because I still feel that I'm not fully balanced here. But I'm telling you, I get outside for a walk or I sit in that sun or I'll go out and like I said, Bruno's like out, not even kidding, 7 hours a day. I will go into his little spot. I put a blanket over me. He's probably like, thank goodness nobody can see me because this is embarrassing. Put a little blanket on him. And then I just sit there and I just feel the sun. And I'm like, you are so smart.
They are so smart.
Like, I get that you don't have anything to do and you're a pampered prince and I work full time for you.
Yeah, for your treats.
However, you legit are so smart. And if you just bottled even 15-minute banks of that.
We need to be more dog-like.
Well, I am a bit feral, so it's okay.
I always get so jealous of my dogs in the summer when they're out laying on the lawn and just basking in the sunshine for, the full, like they refuse to come in the summer.
Yeah. So then the last little lifestyle one I want to talk about is because we talk about the skin, because we kind of do that.
Yep.
It's just, what about gentle skin support? And what I mean by that is if we dry brush or wet brush, that's lymphatic. See how we're working on those systems, right? And we're working on the skin. If we're gentle sweating, we're going for the walks or we're sitting in an Epsom salt bath or we're working out, progressive resistant yoga, whatever it is. When we have that sweating, we're working again on that liver, but we're taking the pressure off the skin, right? We're working on the electrolytes. So we really, if we sweat, water in. Please don't bust open your sweating and don't have your water. Right? We don't need to overload the skin with harsh products. Like you have so many publications on that.
I get sickening amount at this point.
So, I mean, really, and I'm not kidding. If you go back to the hydration, the bowel, the movement, the nervous system, and the skin, just those 4, and you look at them and you're like, what am I doing to best support myself in these areas? The skin goes, thank you. The liver and the kidneys go, thank you. Right? The lymphatics says, thank you. And this is what we need. I mean, we can do herbs and teas if you want.
Well, I am a big fan of teas. You want to know what my most viral post was last year?
Which one?
Was my 15 teas every woman needs to know about.
Oh, I'm so glad it had nothing to do with matcha.
It didn't. It actually didn't. No, but matcha was one of them. It was in the longevity category. But, and like, I just posted it for fun. I'm like, oh, this will be fun. I didn't expect it to be that popular. Like, it went crazy viral. And whether I posted it as a reel or a carousel, like, people love this topic. So I think because teas are just an easy thing to do. We're a really big fan of anything like dandelion, milk thistle, burdock. In one brand we love tea-wise is Traditional Medicinals. They make an everyday detox lemon, which is fantastic. It's actually Paige's favorite tea. She drinks like 3 cups a day.
I just looked at teas again because I have a plethora. Like, I don't often. And I saw that they had one that was another, like a calming sleep aid for the people that like are really just their brain is going, except it's not the one with the valerian because if you have a neurodivergence, which let's say we can agree that I do. So anyone with neurodivergence, if they have ADHD, autism, OCD, like extreme OCDs, if they have like ODDs, these types of things, valerian can actually trigger and stimulate that. So instead now they have it with chamomile, which tends to be really good. And they have their other one now is passion flower.
Oh, I do like that one. Yes.
So you've seen
it's called
it?
Nighty Night. Yes. I have all of them.
I haven't seen that one before, and I don't know why. Maybe I just, you know how sometimes we're just not receptive until potentially we need it?
Yeah. They also have a newer one I've seen called Cup of Calm.
Oh.
Yeah. So I like to
should I
have like an everyday
cups of calm?
detox. I need cups of calm.
Yeah, they have the
throughout my
daily
day.
detox. They have different blends, but what I really love about this is they have single source blends. They're not adding extra things in. It's organic, like
Hibiscus.
yeah. Like I've been totally. I just bought yesterday dandelion again. My young daughter even loves dandelions, and I do that for the bile flow. You know, people think it's just liver, bile.
Tell them, why do we love bile? I need to do a post on bile flow. Just bile flow in general.
Well, bile flow, it's
so under
everything.
about.
If you don't have good quality, consistent, and concentrated, now we're going into the gallbladder here too, bile, then we're not emulsifying our fats, and then don't expect our sex hormones to work. Just at the end of the day, don't expect our skin to be hydrated in the beautiful, like not oily, but you know what I mean? Or it can go oily if we can't. So we can be under sufficient in bile and over, where it's just not doing anything. The body just has to get rid of it, And, milk thistle, that's direct to the liver. Why I like burdock, you mentioned burdock, is blood cleansing. And you know how I love the blood chi. So think kidneys. So dandelion, bile, milk thistle, liver, burdock, blood cleansing. Let's get those in rotation as long as we're tolerant to them, right?
I'm going to make a cup of everyday detox after this.
Yes, you are.
I haven't had one in a while.
I'm going to go bust out some dandelion, actually.
So yeah, we'll make our tea.
I know, kind of like, I think I have some burdock there too, but, and just listen to what you kind of want, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going out and you're having like a steak dinner, get that dandelion in before dinner, right? Just really help that. There's also digestive bitters, so stomach acid breakdown, elimination. We can do that. We can even eat them.
There's lots of bitter foods we can eat. Bitter greens.
Yeah, I can't. I really do not love bitter. I rather supplement, to be honest.
Same personally, because I'm not a huge I'll have some arugula. Is my max.
That's probably where I would go as but if we're talking even rapini, sometimes I'm like, sweet goodness.
I'm not a huge rapini fan.
Yeah. So yeah, nettle, ginger, peppermint.
Yes, love nettle, ginger, peppermint.
So nettle, be careful because that is also a little bit detoxing to the microbiome, right? So again, why we like teas is by the time
they're gentle.
Yeah, they're so gentle, right?
So gentle.
Ginger is warming, supports digestion. So if we have poor circulation, right? If it's cold, if we have digestive issues, peppermint, not just for androgens, right? It helps to relieve stagnation. So really, it's really just getting them in rotations. Consistency matters more than intensity. So we don't always need the cup of coffee or the matcha in the morning, says no Katie or Chris. However, I have around lunch now, I'm just like, let me go enjoy a cup of tea. And I've been really putting in those herbal teas.
I know, I do love teas. So they're super great, super easy to do. And then if you do want to be supporting your body a little bit with the seasons, is why don't you eat seasonally? Like the spring is all about fresh and light. And especially if you live here in Canada, we're just starting to get, the first little inklings of our fresh produce again after we've had a barren winter.
I saw some little tulip bulbs come out. And I was like, I know. It's so funny how we talk differently, even in the spring when we see it. By the end of the summer, we're like, okay, I'm definitely, because I have curly hair, I am like, listen, I cannot shrub anymore. Just let it cool down.
Just give me a sweater and a pair of Uggs.
Yeah, it's like we're just those creatures, right? But spring, bitter greens, sprouts, lemons. That's the liver bile flow, right? We're going to clean our house. We're going to do crazy cleaning at this point.
And the thing about detoxification is it's not supposed to be this big one-time event. We're like, okay, I'm going to go and detox my liver.
Yeah.
It's really about creating that daily rhythm of what am I doing every day to support my detoxification organs. Sure, if you do need a bigger detoxification because everything's really sluggish and stagnant, that's where we can be using maybe some homeopathics and certain supplements and very specific foods. And once that's out of the way, then what are the things we can be doing on a daily basis to keep things flowing well?
Yep, exactly. So summer, that's hydrating. If it's hot, we're hydrating more. So we want to get more into our hydrating foods. I said to Tegan yesterday with the grocery store, I'm kind of feeling a lettuce. And she's like, I am not. I didn't buy it.
She's not ready yet.
I am not. Right? But again, that's why we tend to go towards the salads, and we tend to go towards the cucumbers and berries. And if you're not Katie, watermelons, anything that has a lot of water in them. Right? Sometimes we even go with the carbonated beverages just to get that mineral rebalance. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for fluid balance and skin hydration in the summer. So go and enjoy all those water-filled, beautiful, anything that grows out above the ground, right? Go get all that water content in.
Absolutely. All right, anything else
that we didn't cover? And winter? You're not discussing fall and winter? Did you
I just forgot.
Shear over them?
No, my brain, there's some squirrels showed up and they went off.
Okay, I'll take this and you just chime in when you want then. Fair?
I think it's best.
Okay. So fall, that's when we start to get into the root vegetables, those grounding meals, things that grow
soups.
Yeah,
stews.
In the ground.
Yep.
Right? More warming. So that's really going to go to support digestion and stability, right? And then our winter, that's when we definitely want cooked food. You know, if you're a pro, I eat raw all the time, then I hope you live in Mexico or somewhere climate. It's just the body just doesn't work like that. So,
yes.
Right? So supporting mineral balance, that's deeper restoration. This is not where we're doing our green juicing. If you want to juice, I'm totally cool with you juice. In the spring, if you're doing your cilantros, your parsleys, your cucumbers, your celeries, right? And that's great. I love it for you. But again, combine it with a few warming things like ginger or turmeric so it's not so overly stimulating for the body, right? Yeah. Juicing, I really do love it for more spring, summer, but that's just my personal preference.
Cooling, right? Is especially if you're doing like the celeries and the cucumbers and all of those, it is going to be more cooling to the body. So the spring and the summer are going to be fantastic times to do that. I just broke my juicer out for the first time like 2 weeks ago to make a juice, and it's just been sitting in the pantry all winter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If we get too cooling, acne can show up more on the left side. I know I'm opposite, but more on the left side of the face because we're stimulating too much of the yin. And on the right side, if we have the heat, too much of the yang, right? So if your acne is on one of those, potentially look at your food sources. Is it too cooling or is it too warming? Like spicy hot warming, like curries and turmerics and gingers, these types of things. So because remember, the skin symptoms, they're communication.
Yes, your skin is an external communicator of internal issues. Your skin and your bowels are two windows into the body.
Yeah, so if you suppress them, it's not going to resolve what the issue is, right? So that's why don't we get into supporting internal balance so that it can reflect that outward and we don't have to worry so much about what am I going to look like in 6 weeks.
And especially, people might be thinking, well, how do I know how can my liver get impacted? And it's like outside of all of the chemicals, like the pesticides in the food and the water and the things that we're using in our body getting in there. Remember, if like you've taken medications over your lifetime, you drink alcohol, especially if you're a millennial, that's us millennials we're the drunkest generation that's ever been, according to the internet. So if you had a history of all of that and
conventional foods, processed
foods,
right?
Processed foods, a high sugar, the refined fats, all of these are going to be weighing the liver down. And remember, your health status is an accumulation of everything from conception in the womb up until now. So you have to think about your lifespan. If you're like, oh, well, I've been like, I eat healthy. Well, how long have you been healthy for? 2 years, 5 years, 6 years? What about prior to that?
Yeah. So essentially how we probably would say this, and you can let me know what you want to add here, but detox is a daily rhythm. It's not a one-time event. So we're looking for small, consistent habits, right? We want to create that visible skin change. Yes. And we want to start thinking support, not restriction.
Absolutely. And we put all of this into our Acne Detox course. So if you need all of this in one place, the right foods, we've included supplements, how to be eating with a seat, like all of this into one spot. We went and put it together in the new Acne Detox course, which launched yesterday. So go and check it out in the show notes because I think you'll absolutely love it. Cris and I worked real hard on it.
I work really hard every day.
We do. But we were really excited about this one.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice, easy. It's the things that you don't think. Don't think matter. That detox kit, that's not what matters.
That's such a small part of it, right?
There's a time and place for it, and I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's not gonna galvanize a change, right? it's going to just stimulate more. So remember, thoughts, toxins, and traumas, this is what congests the body. So we need to look at, giving the body a nice little safe haven, support, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the skin's going to follow. Then the weight loss is going to follow. Then the jock itch is going to follow, right? Like that's how it works.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, another fun-filled episode here at Keep It Clear. We will see you next week.